Thank y'all for being here today. So, I'd like to talk about how trauma changes brain development. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to overreact to situations that don't seem that serious to others? For example, someone might get extremely anxious, shut down, or become angry very quickly. Many people assume it's just their personality, but in reality, it is often the result of trauma. So, trauma is more than just a bad memory or something upsetting that happened in the past. It can actually change how the brain develops and functions. Um, According to the National Institute of Mental Health, trauma can physically affect the brain, especially in areas responsible for emotions, memory, and even decision making. So today, I will explain what trauma is, how it affects brain development, and the long term impact it can have on a person's life. So, first, trauma is the emotional response to a deeply depressing or disturbing experience. This can include neglect, abuse, loss of a loved one, or even witnessing violence. When trauma occurs, the brain enters survival mode. And there are three major of brain parts of the brain that are affected by trauma. So the first is the amygdala. I think that's how you say it. Which controls the fear, and it's right here if y'all can see it. And it controls fear and emotional responses. So when trauma occurs, the amygdala becomes overactive, and it causes a person to feel constantly anxious or on edge. The second is the hippocampus, and it's actually right here, and they're pretty close together. It's responsible for memory. So trauma can disrupt how memories are processed, sometimes making it difficult to distinguish between past and present situations. The third, it's the prefrontal cortex. It's right there. It's literally right in the front of your brain. It controls decision making and even rational thinking. So trauma can weaken this area, and it makes it harder for individuals to regulate emotions and respond more calmly. According to Harvard Medical School, these changes can significantly impact emotional control even. Trauma is especially harmful during childhood because the brain is still developing. So when a child experiences trauma, the brain focuses more on survival than on learning and growth. According to the CDC, or the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the Adverse Childhood Experiences study, children exposed to trauma are more likely to face emotional, behavioral, and health challenges later in life. The effects of trauma can continue into adulthood. The long-term effects may include anxiety, depression, difficulty trusting others, and problems with memory and focus. However, it is important to understand that the brain is capable of healing. So the ability is known as neuroplasticity, which means the brain can change and adapt over time with proper support and treatment. In conclusion, trauma is not something people can just get over. It physically changes the brain and affects how individuals think and feel and even behave. So by understanding the impact of trauma on brain development, we can become more empathetic and supportive towards others. Instead of judging people's reactions, we can recognize that there may be deeper experiences influencing the behavior. Thank you.